Welcome to the Miami Arena in Miami, Florida. Capacity crowd, better than 15,000 turning out for this fourth meeting of the season between the Knicks and the Heat. The Knicks are at 31-18. They're 2.5 games in front of Boston, while Miami with a record of 24 up, 27 down, and they are battling for a playoff spot with Philadelphia. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with John Andres, and the Knicks, coming off the tough loss Saturday night in Chicago, is certainly feeling a bit better about themselves in comparison to what took place against the Bulls last Thursday in New York.
Yes, they got their pride back with that excellent all-around effort in Chicago, and of course one of the reasons for that, Marv, was the all-around play of Patrick Ewing. He was back to all-star form in Chicago. Bill Cartwright always is a nemesis for Ewing, but on Saturday night it was a different story. What a move he showed Cartwright in that game with that drop-step slam dunk. Then when Cartwright decided to double-team Mark Jackson, Patrick got the pass back quickly for the jump shot, and then one of Jackson's greatest passes is a Knick leading Patrick Ewing to the basket for a slam dunk. That really loosened Patrick up, and it meant an awful lot to the Knicks' effort. Patrick finishing with a big 30-point game along with 11 rebounds. Now here in Miami, it should be a different story, of course. He won't have Cartwright pushing him around, and he is always the main focus of the Miami Heat, where the Knicks have enjoyed a lot of success.
And Miami with a loss in Charlotte yesterday afternoon. They have now lost 5 straight on the road, but here at home it has been a different story for the Heat. They played exceptionally well at the Miami Arena. In fact, that home record at 19-7, and they've taken 7 out of the last 8 here in Miami.
What they want to try and do is erase yesterday's memory. Up in Charlotte yesterday afternoon, they had a very poor effort, allowing 126 points, or out-rebounded severely. J.R. Reed inside at one point, and Larry Johnson sailed down the middle at one point for a slam dunk. Miami doesn't have shot blocking, and they really paid the price yesterday. However, Marv, as you say, here at home in Miami, they're a different team. They got it off to a great start this year against the New York Knicks in that home opener for Miami, and they sailed right on through a lot of very good teams, finishing most recently with a shocking win against the Golden State Warriors. In the meantime, they also set a franchise record with 7 straight home wins recently. They are used to winning here at home. This will be a different team than the Knicks have seen in their prior visits to Miami.
In particular with the return of Steve Smith, who came back to action yesterday in Charlotte. We'll be back with the Knicks and Miami right after we pause for these words.
Some of my toughest customers don't come in here to drink. I'm talking about these guys from Budweiser. Their idea of a good time? Coming in here to check every single bottle of Bud for freshness. Rotating my stomach. Even when they know I got 100 other things to do. Would you move it, please? They can be a real pain in the neck. Like fresh Budweiser is all we got to think about. But they are making sure that my customers get the best. And even I can't argue with that.
The people of Budweiser are committed to ensuring that all those who help bring you the king of beers, our wholesalers, their distributors, and retailers, share our legendary concern for freshness and quality.
When you order a Bud, you know you're getting the best. See you, Joe. See you, guys. When they say somebody still cares about quality, they're talking about everybody who helps bring you Budweiser. And hey, New Yorkers, this Bud's for you.
You want to go to the Winter Games, but you don't want to go with just anyone. You want someone who can not only get you there with no problems, but is also right there to help you, like no one else can. So who do you go with? Well, it isn't a bank card. The card, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
So, what does he have to say?
Well, he says, Unc, I'm having trouble landing my double axle. If only you could show me like you used to.
Well, the trials are tomorrow. Let's go.
When you have to do the impossible, we can help.
I'd like this to arrive tomorrow, please.
Express mail.
Thanks. Oh, boy.
Almost as good as yours.
We deliver.
Tonight's starting lineup for the New York Knicks. At forward, number 34, 6'9", from Virginia Union, Charles Oakley. At forward, number 32, 6'8", from Wichita State, Xavier McDaniel. Center, number 33, 7 feet, from Georgetown, Patrick Ewing. At guard, number 21, 6'6", from Tennessee, Chattanooga, Gerald Wilkins. And at guard, number 13, 6'3", from St. John's, Mark Jackson. The head coach of the Knicks is Pat Riley. His assistant coaches, Dick Harder, Paul Silas, and Jeff Van Gundy. The trainers are Mike Saunders and Tim Walsh. And now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's starting lineup for your Miami Heat. At forward, number 43, 6'9", from Eastern Michigan, Grant Long. At forward, number 41, 6'8", from Michigan, Glenn Rice. At center, number 4, 6'11.5", from Syracuse, Ronnie Seiskely. At guard, number 12, 6'2", from Virginia Tech, Bimbo Cole. And at guard, number 3, 6'8", from Michigan State, Steve Smith. The trainer of the Miami Heat is Ron Culp. Assistant coaches Alvin Gentry and Bob Sack. The head coach is Kevin Lockery. Tonight's injury report for the visiting Knicks. Patrick Eddy is on the injured list. For the Miami Heat, John Sunborn.
And the officials, Dan Crawford, David Jones, and Mike Costabile. Well, from the New York Knicks point of view, the trade speculation continues. The one rumor that continues to surface, Greg Anthony to Charlotte for Del Curry and Eric Lechner. And earlier, John talked about it with Pat Riley and asked, would the Knicks consider such a trade before Thursday's deadline?
I don't know. I don't know if that's in the realm of possibility. We're satisfied with our team. I think everybody would try to improve their team if they could, and only if we felt like it would kick us to another level would we break up this chemistry. But I think it's highly unlikely.
And the other deal that has been bandied about involves the Dallas Mavericks. Both clubs have said no truth to it. Deal involving, as you look at Greg Anthony, Rolando Blackman, and John Starks, with some other offshoots involved.
That goes back to the summer, that rumor, Marv.
All right, the Knicks control the tip. Miami will be shorthanded tonight without Willie Burton, who was involved in a melee yesterday in the game against Charlotte. Took a punch at one time, Nick, Johnny Newman of the Charlotte Hornets. And Burton has been suspended without pay for one game and fined $6,000. Oakley, yes. And the Knicks lead by the score 2-0. You can hear right at the start, there's much support here in Miami for the Knicks. Newman, incidentally, fined $1,500. The NBA wasting no time getting to it. NBA Vice President of Operations Rod Thorne with the announcement earlier today.
Burton, Marv, I asked managing partner Lou Chappelle about the fine. I said, does he really have to pay that, or does the team pay it? It's always been a muddy area as far as the public knows. He said, no, he absolutely has to pay that himself. And he also has to pay, because of the game suspension, 1/82nd of $1.4 million.
The altercation began when Burton flagrantly fouled Newman. Burton had been complaining that Newman was holding him right throughout, and calls were not being made. Here's Steve Smith, rejected by Patrick Ewing. Xavier McDaniel for Gerald Wilkins. Gets it back out. Oakley passed on the open shot and then changed his mind.
Well, of course, when you do it like Charles did, it looks beautiful. He was out here practicing that side jump shot a lot before the game. I must say, he was making a very high percentage.
And And the foul is called on McDaniel. Johnny Newman, for his part, in the scrap with Willie Burton, was fined for retaliating and helping, as Rob Thorne expressed it, to escalate the incident.
Rod's getting used to those words these days, it seems. But that $1.4 million I referred to, by the way, was Burton's annual salary. He pays 1/82nd of that.
All right, Rice off the steal and fires from two-point range. Oakley involved in a hooking incident with Ronnie Cycley. Crowd was looking for a foul. Here comes Rice. Wide open basketball here at the start. The Knicks with a 4-0 lead. Good save by Ewing. Yesterday, the Heat missed their first 7 shots from the floor. They went 4 minutes and 15 seconds without scoring. Nice way to open the game, and they're struggling here at the start. Foul is called. Mark Jackson was pushed by Bimbo Coles. Coles had a good shooting performance, 7 for 8, 16 points. One of the few bright spots for Miami yesterday in Charlotte. Kevin Lockery was so upset by the end of the first quarter. 11 of his 12 players have seen action. Nice pass from Oakley.
They got killed on the boards. Oakley's usually the man, too, here in Miami, who hurts this team on the board specifically.
3 minutes gone by, and the Knicks with a 6-0 lead. Cycley is called for a traveling violation.
Miami's going to have to work very hard to erase their last meeting with the Knicks up in New York. That 31-point loss that saw the Knicks with 7 men in double figures. Ewing led the way with only 19 points.
That's because we saw extensive garbage time. It was a wipeout. That was back on the 4th of February, 122-91, the final score. The Knicks have won 2 of 3 against Miami. They lost here, second game of the season in early November, and won the 2 games at the Garden. I don't know why that buzzer went off, but play continues. Inadvertent 24-second buzzer sounding, and Ewing will go to the line. Steve Smith called for the foul. Steve Smith returning to action yesterday in Charlotte. Good-looking rookie out of Michigan State. Played 33 minutes against the Hornets. It was only Smith's second game since back in early January. An inactive period because of a knee injury and his mother's illness. His mother died earlier this month, so it's been a difficult period for that young man, Steve Smith.
Despite only playing now in 35 of the team's 52 games, he is the man. They are so happy with the skills of Steve Smith, and they look to great things with him in the backcourt.
Coles, and that is the first basket for Miami. They went 3.5 minutes, 6 possessions without a score, and that included 3 turnovers. The Knicks 8 and Miami 2. Now Wilkins posting on Smith. So the Knicks give it back.
Sloppy pass by Charles Oakley to Mark Jackson. What Pat Riley has to hope for is that Charles gets that out of his system early and keeps it to only 1 bad pass in a game.
Rice played by Wilkins, twisting his way. What a move by Glenn Rice, who has been struggling recently. His shooting's been off yesterday, a 5 for 13, preceded by a 9 for 23 against Atlanta, 6 for 19 against the Sixers. Oakley was stopped. This is Grant Long pitching down. Here's Smith. The Knicks 8 and the Heat 6.
Smith has those unique skills. He can put the ball up to the basket several ways.
Jackson. And Jackson gets it back. Ewing with the fake on Cycley. The Knicks 10, Miami 6. Bimbo Coles with a running one-hander. Cycling trying to keep it alive.
But he's alone. Knicks had too many people under there for the Heat to deal with.
And the rolling last touch by Mark Jackson. The Knicks on the road at 13-12. They've won 5 of their last 6 on the road. Foul called on Ewing. They'd won 5 in a row prior to the loss Saturday in Chicago. So they've come a long way on the road. You recall they lost their first 5 away from home.
Patrick Ewing getting a taste of the skills of Ronnie Cycli, and one of them certainly is putting the ball on the floor and using his excellent speed going to the basket. When he gets momentum, he's very difficult to stop.
Cycli, a 74% free throw shooter. And he's come a long way, 62% for his career, so he has made major strides at the foul line. Ronnie Cycli averaging 12 rebounds per game. That is number 7 in the league. 5 minutes gone by. And the Knicks with a 10-6 lead.
I think the Heat gave him a contract in the offseason, Marv, that equaled the amount of money they paid for the franchise. Over $30 million.
That's a good fact, John.
What a pile.
Oakley. McDaniel over Cycli. And a loose ball foul against the Knicks. Timeout is being called.
Loose ball foul on the Knicks, number 34, Charles
Oakley called for the foul. We'll be right back. That's a 2 for 11 in the third. Jackson with the save. Got it to McDaniel.
White Tie Tuxedo specializes in weddings, prom rentals, and sales. We carry all the name brands, and our merchandise is in stock with alterations available while you wait. White Tie employees are experienced formal wear consultants, ready to help you with your every need. We are open Sundays and have 3 convenient locations. Call our toll-free numbers for store hours and directions. Take advantage of our Lake Grove grand opening special offer. Call us, White Tie Tuxedo, your tuxedo source.
The good, the bad, the bumpy. Whatever the road, a Michelin can give you all the miles we're famous for. Ride 'em, cowboy. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
All WTC Auto Centers are celebrating the grand opening of the new Superstore on Route 25A in Mount Sinai. Visit your nearby WTC Auto Center for huge savings during the grand opening sale.
Enter the home of Hassett and Wanto, the ultimate full-service automobile dealership, and discover what thousands of your Long Island neighbors already know, that you get something more with our low prices. You get even more than the best incentives, even more than award-winning service priced fairly. At Hassett, you get 73 full-time employees driven by one singular objective, your peace of mind. Hassett in nearby Wanto.
We mentioned yesterday the Heat game in Charlotte led to several aggressive moments. The main event right here involving Willie Burton of Miami, Johnny Newman of Charlotte. Burton throwing a punch at Newman out of camera range, and Burton was ejected. That was the major incident. Steve Smith with a gorgeous move. Oh, off the hesitation dribble. Smith able to stuff.
I mean, he's a point guard, and look what happens when he wants to go to the basket.
Grant Long had an interesting explanation for the testy mood of the players yesterday. Smith with a good play. Wilkins able to get it back and then picked up on the switch by Cycli. Charlotte, Miami were involved in an afternoon game. Here's McDaniel. Just did beat the 24. Knicks 12 and Miami 8. Grant Long said tempers were flaring. Maybe it was because everyone got up so early today for the afternoon game. We all seem mad and ornery. Some
something. Could be something to that. I noticed, Marvin, your game yesterday in Philadelphia seemed a little ornery with Mike Fratello. Does that have anything to do with it? The hour?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, the hour, not Mike.
Well, both. He is so annoying, first of all. And an afternoon game, as you know, will do that to you. Flashing back to yesterday, the other incident, little bump between Smith and J.R. Reed, and then the shove by Reed.
Look at Muggsy Bogues there pushing guys around.
Muggsy looking to get involved. It counts, and the foul. Patrick Ewing will go to the line.
Basket's good. Heat foul number 4. Ronnie Cycli is first.
Foul called on Cycli.
Good bounce pass into Ewing. He goes to that running one-hander more often these days. He's really got that down.
So the Knicks lead the Heat by the score of 14-8, 5:20 remaining in this first quarter. Here's Rice, able to penetrate. And Glenn Rice brings Miami within 4. Rice broke it up, and the Knicks maintain possession.
With Steve Smith returning to the lineup and Bimbo Cole's doing such a fine job, Rice, who had been playing at guard most of the season, now shifts to the forward area. So he's closer to the basket. At 6'8", no problem for him.
Glenn Rice had a sensational month of January, but he has been off recently. Ewing thought he was fouled. Knicks will hold on to the ball. They'll have 10 on the 24.
Very fine defense by Cycli, withstanding Ewing's charge to the basket without committing the foul.
Here's Wilkins from downtown. Good hustle by Oakley, but it was picked off by Long. Bimbo Coles rejected by Jackson. Shot clock at 5. And the whistle from Dan Crawford, who was apparently upset with Kevin Lockery, who had something to say, but the foul is called. Holding foul on Wilkins. That last setup by Mark Jackson for Patrick Ewing, his 4th assist of the game. He is now passed by Dick McGuire to second place on the Knicks all-time assist list. McGuire at 2.950, and Jackson now 2.951 and counting. And another Knick foul, and Ewing is very upset. Patrick Ewing is called for his second.
Wow, they got him on that hand on the back of Cycli, which they seem to allow in the NBA. That's an unusually tight call. They seem to allow that initial contact, but perhaps it was the stiff arm being out straight that the official made that judgment on.
It's always tough to measure the pressure of a hand check, and that's why Ewing was so upset, and he will sit down after picking up his second. Anthony Mason has come on.
I think part of his being upset, Marv, relates to the fact that he knows he's coming out even before Pat Riley calls him to come out. It's an automatic, it seems.
Well, earlier I talked about the improved foul shooting of Ronnie Cycli. He is now 0 for 4 from the line. Here's McDaniel, and a loose ball foul against the Knicks. John Oakley, 34, Charles Oakley. That is his second.
Well, 2 fouls against the primary Knicks big men now that are very difficult for the human spirit if you're in their sneakers. But it's moments like this that you've got to, as much as possible, forget it and play on.
So the Knicks over the foul limit. The Heat not able to take advantage. Grant Long, who's played very well in recent weeks, to the line, a 79% free throw shooter.
One of his particular skills unusual for a big man, is stealing the basketball. He's among the top players in the NBA. In fact, he's second in big men, meaning power forwards and centers, in steals in the NBA. So he works hard on defense.
That's the only big man ahead of him, David Robinson. 3:45 remaining in this first quarter. Illegal defense called against Miami. That's their first violation. Illegal defense warning. Getting back to the all-time assist leaders for the New York Knicks, Walt Clyde Frazier still the man to catch at 4-7-9-1. I mentioned to Clyde prior to the game that Mark Jackson, who fires and hits, was about to pass by one of the Knicks' all-time greats, Dick McBride. Clyde said, "You think he'll still have his night in March?" Simple cold. It brings Miami within 2. The Knicks 16 and the Heat 14. Wilkins, yes. So Gerald with the long-range touch, and the Knicks now lead 18-14.
Gerald made 3 out of 4 in Chicago from three-point range the other night. He captured the touch.
Good look. And Smith could handle the pass. Mason. Long with the save, but he stepped out. So it will be Knick ball, but first, a timeout taken with 2:44 to go in the first.
If you're into looking good, get into Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste won't fill you up, never let you down.
The Lexus LS400 has an extremely effective electronic security system. While it may look rather simple to you, to a car thief, it looks something like this.
There's nothing else like it on Earth, or maybe even in heaven. It stretches for 725 miles, and it's called the California Coastline. There are over 4 million miles of roads in Alamo territory, all across America. And every day, with every car nationwide, only Alamo gives you all those miles for free, including the ones where the people bask in the sun and watch the seals, and the seals bask in the sun and watch the people.
Well, earlier we dealt with the speculated Knick deal involving Charlotte. Greg Anthony's name has come up along with Del Curry. We caught up with Del recently in Orlando at the All-Star break and asked for his reaction.
That's part of this business. I know you hear rumors summertime during the season. It's their trade deadline, so everybody's going to try to, see what other people are thinking. But, whatever happens, happens. New York's got a great team in first place right now.
Well, there's no question that the major need of this Knicks squad is an improvement in outside shooting. As Mark Jackson rims the basket on that.
I was hoping that would go in, Mark.
On that last attempt. Knicks lead by 4. But as Pat Riley expressed to you, it's really a question of what level the Knicks could reach in making a deal for an outside shooter such as a Del Curry and a Rolando Blackman, and then you have to make the judgment in terms of what you're giving up.
And you have to be right at all times.
You try to be. These things sometimes work and sometimes they do not. Rice to the line. Glenn Rice leading Miami in scoring, averaging 21 per game. He is an excellent foul shooter, 85%. John Starks has come on, replacing Xavier McDaniel. Leads with 4 points.
Yes, Rice is the best foul shooter on this team that has made such improvement in that department. Now among the NBA leaders, 79% foul shooting as a team.
The Knicks by 2 with 2.5 remaining in this first quarter.
By contrast, the Knicks shoot the foul shots at 72%.
Knicks going with the 3 guards. Wilkins being handled by Rice. Wilkins with Jackson and Starks. Starks set up from downtown. And Wilkins able to pop it back outside. And Gerald has the outside shot. Yes! 3-pointer for Gerald Wilkins. And the Knicks now lead 21-16.
Gerald comes in tonight, actually looking back over the last several games, shooting them very effectively from long range. He's now 19 of 40 in the last 22 games from 3-point range. That's tremendous.
Shot clock is at 5. And Coles fire the 3. Oakley from Jackson. Pretty hesitation move by Jackson.
You know, it looked like Mark passed up Oakley. On the initial look, he saw Charles, but he waited until he could make the defense commit before he gave Charles the ball at the absolutely perfect time.
Unusual occurrence. Charles Oakley getting into it very early offensively. Knicks now lead it by 7. We're coming up on 1 minute to go in the first. Cycling working hard for that shot. That's his first field goal. Starks pass picked off by Smith. Here's Rice. Knicks lead 23-20.
Oh, he's such a good shooter from a decent range. I mean, he's an excellent shooter from very long range, but that was his version of a layup.
Glenn Rice leading the way with 8 points. 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. Oh, what a pass. Will it count? No, it traveled, but Oakley can't believe that there was not a foul called on Cycling.
It seemed he was held, which forced Hill to take another look at it.
I don't know.
Different look on the camera angle.
Charles was giving the impression that he was held, and that was our, certainly our thought from this location.
Well, it's good that we have 30 cameras at these games.
Yes, it is. And Wilkins and Cycling will jump it up. I think only 25 cameras for tonight's game for the electronic wizard, Howie Singer, and our crack director, Bob Lewis. Isn't that customary at MSG events?
Yes, one more than the Super Bowl.
And one less than the coverage of the Luge, Bob Lewis points out. Final seconds of the quarter. Knicks by 3. Here's Rice for 3. That's the end of the first here in Miami. The Knicks 23, the Miami Heat 20.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the video wall.
Years ago, a child began her journey, and a drop of water began its journey. Day after day, she honed her skills, and the mountains enriched the water. Only after 15 years can she be called a U.S. Olympic athlete, and the water can be called Evian, pure, balanced Evian natural spring water from the French Alps. To be the best takes time.
Winter Games. Having a good time. Everything's going smoothly. You're happy. Because you've got friends over here. All over town. And someone told you lots of places don't take the card. Yeah, right. The card, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
It's showtime. Showtime. Hey! Whoa!
Outride your partner with his half-hour instructional video free with a 1-year subscription to Golf Digest. Just $19.77. Call 800-852-2200. Imagine this video and Golf Digest. Call 800-852-2200.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by your Tri-State Toyota dealers. I love what you do for me, Toyota. And by the people at Nike, who encourage you to just do it.
Back in Miami, back to the subject of trade speculation concerning Greg Anthony. Earlier, John asked for Greg's reaction.
Really, I try not to have too much of a reaction because, you know, that's just an aspect of the business that I have no control over. And, you know, really, you can't worry about things you can't control. And, you know, if it happens, it happens. If not, you know, it's like it was never, ever brought up. So, you know, I just want to go out and try to improve and become a quality player in the NBA. And if it's for New York Knicks, you know, I'd love that. But if not, then, you know, that's the reality and something I'd have to deal with.
Doesn't shake you up, though, right?
No, not really. You know, like I said earlier, I was just flattered, you know, someone would be interested in me with the kind of year I'm having because I've really, you know, I've been struggling. But, you know, I feel like things are going to come. You know, it's just going to be a matter of time. As I get experience, I'll get better. So I'm not really too down about it. And as I said, I was kind of flattered by it.
Gorgeous move by Gerald Wilkins. But what an attitude Greg Anthony gives off. A perfect, mature reflection on the status of rumors, on his status with rumors circulating that he could be traded. Just a terrific attitude.
As you mentioned, a beautiful move by Wilkins. Not able to complete the three-point play. Was fouled by Rice. Neither club shot well in the first quarter. Knicks 10 of 24 to 42%. Miami was 8 for 17, but the Knicks with a 16-6 edge off the board. However, on the other side of the ledger, Knicks with 7 turnovers, and Miami had 5. Anthony Mason called for the foul, and Glenn Rice will put it in play.
That rebounding edge has given the Knicks more shots at the basket also, but the turnovers are unacceptable, I'm sure, to Pat Riley, because this team, this Miami team, does not present that kind of defense that deserves the Knicks turning the ball over like that.
Kevin Edwards, who just came on along with former Boston Celtic Brian Shaw, drew the foul. Edwards hit by Starks. And now Keith Askins getting set to come on for the first time. Kevin Edwards in his 4th season out of DePaul. Here's Askins, who's been a popular player here in Miami. He'll give Rice a rest. Leaves with 8 points. Rice hit 3 of 6 from the field.
Speaking to Lou Chappelle, the managing partner that I referred to before about this team and their success this year, and they're certainly the best of the expansion teams, he said, we are so rich in backcourt people. I said, you think you'll make a move? He said, I don't know, but at least the phone's ringing, and it's nice to have too much of one thing for the first time.
Cycling on the funnel to bring the Heat within 1. A minute gone by in the second. The Knicks 25 and the Heat 24. Knicks have led all the way. They've led by as many as 8. Kiki Vandeweghe will come on in a moment. Kiki sat out against the Bulls on Saturday. Here is Mason. And back comes Brian Shaw for Keith Askins. And it's a charge. Foul on Askins. Patrick Ewing, who went out early after picking up his second foul, makes his return. Charles Oakley will depart, and Greg Anthony will come on for the first time.
Vandeweghe checking in. You look at the box score. Of course, fans didn't see his name the other day against Chicago. And undoubtedly that relates to matchups with the likes of Scottie Pippen's speed and Horace Grant's strength. That's why coaches don't play players on certain nights, because of what the other team presents.
Well, Edwards closing the baseline on Starks. Crowd wanted to travel. Anthony for 3. And the loose ball foul called on Long. Grant Long calls for his second team foul committed by Miami. Ewing drawing the double team. Long coming over. Oh, what a pass from Mason. A bullet pass from Patrick Ewing to Anthony Mason. The Knicks 27 and the Heat 24. Illegal defense called for the first time against the Knicks.
Patrick Ewing always on the lookout when he feels pressure for open people. And Anthony Mason was the target. You can see his strength as he spread the defensive man out as he put his shot up. A little wink to Patrick Ewing. Thank you.
Cycling. So Ronnie Cycling has come alive off the offensive boards. Knicks 27 and the Heat 26. Away. Yes. Knicks lead by 3. Kiki Vandeweghe converting on his first field goal attempt. Ryan Shaw quiet from the Celtics in the deal for Sherman Douglas. Being guarded by Greg Anthony. Shaw with the spin to beat Anthony, and he drew the foul on Anthony.
Next foul, number 2, Greg Anthony.
Very impressive move by Shaw. At 6'5", getting around the shorter, speedier Greg Anthony. Brian Shaw in search of confidence, which was destroyed in Boston.
Brian Shaw and Greg Anthony have some words following that foul. Greg Anthony has been involved in some verbal warfare. This is rookie season. Of course, the incident with Michael Jordan.
He's physical, he's tough, and he's willing to bang bodies out there, something I think that backcourt men aren't used to getting as much as forwards and centers.
In particular from a first-year player, which is not always appreciated. The matchup is Shaw guarding Anthony. Edwards on Starks. Mason, Vandeweghe, Ewing up front. Shot clock at 5. Starks asking for the pick. Met by Cycling. Rebound, Vandeweghe.
Starks settled for less. He was under pressure. Forced that shot.
Ewing off triple coverage. And he will go to the line. Foul called on Shaw. They triple teamed Patrick Ewing.
The Knicks must move the ball crisper on the offensive end. By them holding the ball and moving slowly and not spreading out their offense as they have in recent games, it enables the defense to cluster. So no matter where the ball goes, the defense seems to be there. They've got to spread out that defense. It starts with them spreading out themselves.
Here's Glenn Rice replacing Grant Long. Leaves with 2 points. There was one NBA game played this afternoon. Atlanta defeating Washington in Landover, 117-110. Everything else tonight. The Knicks with a 30-27 lead on Miami. Here's Rice. Oh, what a shot. The extension by Glenn Rice, able to bring Miami within 1.
Well, the Knicks allowed Rice that room to cut down the middle. No one stepped in front of him.
Anthony. The whistle from the official David Jones. Had that ball been knocked away, it would have been counted as a goal. Would have been called a goaltend.
Beautiful deception presented by Greg Anthony on that change of pace drive.
The Knicks 32, Miami 29. 4 minutes gone by in the second here at the Miami Arena before a sellout crowd. Ronnie Cycling with a pretty finger roll.
Boy, that's a practice type shot. No way you're ready for that if you're Patrick Ewing.
8 points for Cycling, who just committed a foul. That is his second foul.
You rarely see a scoop shot, an underneath delivery in the NBA like Cycli just showed Patrick Ewing. That was beautiful.
And in his 4 years in the NBA, Cycli has provided problems for Ewing. Mason with the follow. Anthony complaining he thought he was fouled. The Knicks lead 34-31. Cycli drawing the double team. That's a three-point attempt. Keith Askins hitting from three-point range. Keith Askins, a second-year man from Alabama. Mason from Ewing. The Knicks now lead 36-34.
Haskins is dangerous. He's had a three-point make in each of the last 3 games.
Haskins back in the lineup. He missed a couple of weeks with a sprained ankle. Tipped home by Cycli.
Ewing going for the rebound, which is admirable, but what he forgot to do is keep his eye on his man, Cycli.
Game tied at 36. Vandeweghe drawing the double team. Ewing not able to handle the pass from Starks. Miami can take the lead for the first time.
What a nice look by Starks.
Rice for 3. And it's Miami by 3. Glenn Rice, who leads the NBA in three-pointers made. That was number 227 in terms of attempts. His 87th three-point field goal.
Center court with Andre Agassi. This is David Wheaton.
Nice shoot.
Some technical difficulties. The network feed.
Every sports sedan is supposed to do well in the fast lane. But what about these lanes? At Lexus, we've achieved extremely tight tolerances between all major body panels. So not only does the ES300 look like it's put together well, it actually is put together well.
If you're ever near Durango, Colorado, you'll find a road to the sky. Where 100 years ago, men searched for the gold and silver they saw there. There are over 4 million miles of roads in Alamo territory, all across America. And every day, with every car nationwide, only Alamo gives you all those miles for free, including a 70-mile stretch along Route 550 in Colorado that takes you right up to the sky.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by Alamo. There are over 4 million miles of roads in Alamo territory. And with Alamo, all those miles are free.
There's always an interesting Toyota matchup to look at throughout the game. Now we take a look at Ewing and Cycli, who's doing quite well against Patrick Ewing in the early going. 6 field goals already and has 3-1, 9 rebounds to 3 for Ewing.
Ewing sat down early after picking up his second foul. Cycli also has 2. 8-2 run by Miami. Vandeweghe, yes. So Kiki Vandeweghe, a weapon off the bench. And the Miami lead is now 39-38. Rice going right at Vandeweghe. The ball was stripped. Starks hit the floor. He's all right. Knicks with the numbers. Anthony is fouled. A beautiful change of pace drive by Greg Anthony. And he was hit by Kevin Edwards.
Greg Anthony was waiting for his teammates to fill the lanes. Finally, no one could get in front of him, as you see. Mason on the left and Vandeweghe on the right couldn't get in front of him, so he decided to explode to the basket. He's had 3 very effective drives here.
Greg, a 73% free throw shooter. And the Knicks struggling at the line once again. They're 4 of 8 from the foul line. 5:35 remaining in this first half. And the game is tied at 39. Shaw working against Anthony. Rice setting the pick. Here's Rice. Well done, a pick and roll with Vandeweghe trying to provide help, and it cost.
You just can't leave Glenn Rice open. That's the problem the Knicks had with the Bulls in New York last week. They left with double teaming. They left jump shooters open.
Vandeweghe, three-point attempt was off, and Mason finding the ball in his hands, able to tie it at 41.
Thanks greatly to Ewing's effort in helping get that ball loose.
Mason, the high man for the Knicks. He has 8. Rice, high man of the game with 15. Edwards. Mason. And the foul is called on Askins. The Heat looking for a charge, but it is a blocking foul. Askins did not have position.
Oh, Mason's entitled to some room going to the basket. He hesitates and then moves forward. And the official saw some movement by Askins, probably leaning into Mason, although Askins found some humor in that call.
A grimace, John. Mason only a 64% free throw shooter. Coming off the 10.6 rebound outing in Chicago on Saturday. Knicks lead it by 1. 4.5 minutes to go in this first half. Marv Albert with John Andres from Miami, Florida. And the Heat with a 1-point lead on the bucket by Edwards. Anthony and Starks in the backcourt. Mason, Ewing, Vandeweghe up front. Patrick Ewing with his third field goal. He has 9, and the Knicks lead by a point.
Knicks did a good job, and they're seemingly doing that more, isolating Ewing. Let him go one-on-one so he doesn't have someone else coming in to bother him.
And that is a charging foul. Good play by Anthony to draw the foul against Edwards.
Greg Anthony very good at protecting that baseline, which is precisely what he did.
Kimbo Coles is back. You may call him Vernell. Real name, though.
Keeping the bimbo comes out easier.
Off the double team, Ewing's pass picked off. Edwards. Oh, he soared to slam it home, and Miami has a 1-point lead. Xavier McDaniel and Gerald Wilkins are back on the floor. Mason up front now with McDaniel and Ewing. Coles all over Anthony. Here's Ewing. And the Knicks now lead 46-45. So Ewing with 11 has come on here in the second quarter.
That shot seems to be new to the Ewing repertoire this year, doesn't it, Marv? I don't recall that in prior seasons, that running one-hander across the lane.
And Ewing getting down court to hit and draws the foul. Beautiful example of pushing the ball down court. Edwards called for the foul. Good look by Anthony.
Greg Anthony leading the way with his head up. Anthony only played 7 minutes against the Bulls the other night. But from his standpoint, he thought, well, maybe the coach forgot about me. But obviously, Pat Riley didn't forget about him, and he's contributing.
Ronnie Cycli will sit down, leads with 10. Alec Kessler, 6'11", second-year player out of the University of Georgia, has come on for the first time. That's Kessler getting to it. Steve Smith is back. Mark Jackson has returned, replacing Greg Anthony, who played very well. They give Kessler the outside shot. Knicks by 3, just under 3 minutes remaining in this first half. The Knicks at 31-18 on top of the Atlantic by 2.5 in front of Boston Celtics, beating the Lakers in Los Angeles yesterday. Mason fouled, hit by Smith, and a timeout is being called. 2 minutes, 38 seconds remaining in the first half. Timeout. Goes right around Kendall Gill.
S&B Manufacturers Warehouse. Buy direct, $99 all-wool men's suits. That's right, $99. Comparative values to $350. Entire inventory, 9,000 suits, $89 to $119, none higher. Open 3 days a week only, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Buy direct. S&B Manufacturers Warehouse is now open to the public. Call 1-800-834-MENS off Route 110, 1 block south of Adventureland. Remember, call 1-800-834-MENS for our all-wool $99 suits.
Saints fans are the best fans.
You make the difference. Coors Light presents the hard-hitting New York Saints versus the Pittsburgh Bulls. It happens 8 o'clock this Friday night at Nassau Coliseum. The Saints are on a bull run, and you won't want to miss it. See the incredible bungee diver leap from the top of the Nassau Coliseum at halftime. Don't be shut out. Get your tickets now. All the scores, all the fury. Come see why Saints lacrosse is the best 4 quarters of excitement for your dollar. New York Saints lacrosse. It'll keep you on the edge of your seats.
Should we go first to a Honda dealer to test drive the Honda that I want, and then go to a Saab dealer to test drive the Saab that you like? Or should
Andrew, I happen to know that this is going to be a lot easier than you imagined.
Test driving 2 great cars at 2 different dealerships will never be easy.
You're right about that. But what about test driving the Honda and the Saab at one dealership?
Would this dealership also be close to home?
Andrew, this dealership is close to everybody's home. North Shore Honda Saab. Conveniently located where Glen Cove Road and Route 107 meet.
A real winner knows how to party right. Please use good sense when you drink and know when to say when. A reminder from Budweiser.
A look at the Eastern Conference rundown. Miami and Philadelphia are battling for a playoff position. Philly has now lost 3 in a row, coming off the loss at home to Detroit yesterday, and there is the managing partner of the Miami Heat, Louis Chaffel, out of Erasmus Hall High School in Brooklyn, along with Billy Cunningham, to help put this Miami franchise together, one of the partners of the Miami Heat organization.
I asked Lou before the game also what he felt was a big turning point for this team, being so effective at home. That's Kessler out high. 6'11" jump shooter. And he said it was late in November they took the Los Angeles Lakers down the stretch, lost on a last-second shot by Sedale Threet. Oh, Jackson finding Ewing down low beautifully. He said, but that game in late November proved to us that we were now capable of beating teams that used to control us as the Lakers did. And from then on, they've had very fine fortune against good quality teams.
Cole's called for the travel. The Knicks now lead 52-47, just under 2 minutes remaining first half. Miami significantly ahead of the 3 other expansion teams this season with that record of 24-27. The New York Daily News ran a feature on Erasmus Hall High School yesterday. 3-second violation. Had a nice shot of a very youthful-looking Billy Cunningham, who was all-city at Erasmus. They showed Barbara Streisand, a Erasmus graduate, and they had a photo of Neil Diamond and said that he is an Erasmus graduate. John, that was wrong. Abraham Lincoln High School for Neil Diamond.
The Neil Diamond.
Right. The singer.
I didn't understand the shot of Billy Cunningham, though, shooting the ball with the right hand.
It's an offensive foul. It's on Ewing. That is 3 on Patrick Ewing, and he will sit down. So it is now Oakley up front with McDaniel and Mason. 3 fouls on Ewing. Departs with 15 points. Neil Diamond, in fact, on the fencing team, John, at Lincoln. Oh, Coles is blocked by Oakley, and that may be a flagrant.
Because judging by the official David Jones's reaction, it looks that way, and it is. Got to play the ball. You've got to play the ball, not the man. And it looked like Oakley looked to stop the body and not the ball.
Charles Oakley called for the flagrant foul. It's his 3rd personal. Now this means the Miami Heat will get the 2 foul shots. Cole Coles will go to the line plus possession. 20-second timeout is being called.
Funny, if people knew the image of Charles Oakley speaking to him or bumping into him in the hallway or something, the guy is like a big teddy bear, but when you get out on the court, it's another story.
Kind of like you, John. Exactly. People get the wrong impression when they hear you on the air. And if they meet you, they'd really understand what I have to live through, John.
Well said.
Incidentally, this program is authorized by Madison Square Garden Productions Incorporated. Can I do this with a by the way, incidentally? Solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this event without the express written consent of Madison Square Garden Productions Incorporated is prohibited.
Marv, you did get the okay from Herb Kaplan, the name familiar to MSG Network production people.
Yes, a key executive over the years in New York, and now living in splendor in the Miami area. Nice to see Herb. It's the Knicks 52 and Miami 49. And now possession off the flagrant foul call against Charles Oakley. Rice setting the pick. So Wilkins switches off to Coles. Rice now being guarded by Jackson. Shot clock is at 9. Illegal defense called for the second time against the Knicks. And Miami awarded a technical foul. It'll be Bimbo Coles once again. Bimbo an 82% free throw shooter. So the Knicks lead is now 2 with 1 minute left in the first half. Oh, nice give and go. And Rice has tied it at 52.
How dangerous the inbounds passer can be on the return pass.
Xavier McDaniel off the spin, lost it.
What a play by Kessler. Came right over.
Long, once again, beautiful passing by Miami.
Oh, Steve Smith. They love him here. They love to play with this rookie.
He is a point guard who goes 6'8", 200 pounds. First round draft pick, 5th pick overall out of Michigan State. McDaniel lost it.
He created the problem by dribbling.
Keep ball with 10.3 seconds left in the half.
10 seconds remaining in this first half. Miami takes over. They lead it by 2. Miami with 7 unanswered points. Here's Coles for 3. Kessler. And let's see, was there a foul called? Pat Riley is hit with a technical. Dan Crawford, the official with the call at center court. Pat Riley has something to say. The Knicks very upset with the officiating here in the first half. The announcement concerning the technical. No time remaining on the clock. Kessler on the line. So several calls have hurt the Knicks here in the final minute. The flagrant foul. And now the personal at the buzzer that sent Kessler to the line. Now Bimbo Coles once again will shoot a technical.
And Pat Riley's not interested.
No, Kessler will shoot the tee. They make a change. They felt he was in stride.
Exactly.
So Miami hearing it from the crowd. They lead the Knicks at halftime, 56-52. Coming up, Bob Page at the MSG Sports Desk. And we'll take a look at first first half highlights. We'll be back in just a moment. By Miami late in the second quarter, and they managed 36 points against the Knicks in the second, leading by 4 at halftime. Let's go to Bob Page.
Thank you, Marv. Good evening, everybody. There was one NBA matinee game on this President's Day, and the Washington Bullets dropped a 117-110 decision to Atlanta at home. Well, not quite home. This is the Baltimore Civic Center, where the Bullets play a handful of games each year. Atlanta led by 4 at halftime, but needed that driving slam from Real Robinson to pull even at 80 in the third quarter. Robinson at a career-high 28. Wes Unseld saw the Bullets down by 6 after 3, but here in the fourth, they go on a 16-6 run. Liddell Eccles' jumper ties the game at 106. Eccles 30 points. From there, the Hawks reeled off 9 straight. 4 of them by that man, Dwayne Farrell. Atlanta goes ahead for good as Washington loses for the 13th time in the last 16 games. And the only other NBA game underway so far tonight, the Charlotte Hornets losing by 9, halftime at Indiana. Rod Thorne of the league front office acted quickly today in the wake of an altercation that occurred just yesterday in Charlotte's game against the Miami Heat. Watch as ex-Knick Johnny Newman goes flying right into your living room, the result of Willie Burton's shove. Today, the Heat forward was suspended 1 game by Thorne. He's not playing against the Knicks and fined $6,000. Newman was levied nearly a $1,500 fine for retaliating. I'm not sure what exactly Rod expected him to do. And why did Magic Johnson allow yesterday's retirement ceremony to take place if he knew he might be coming back to the NBA very quickly? Johnson now says he will decide, and I quote, sometime this week or next, whether he'll return to the Lakers as an active player. Johnson's longtime Western Conference rival, John Stockton, today named NBA Player of the Week. He averaged 20 points, 15 assists, and 5 steals as the Utah Jazz went 3-0. College basketball tonight at the Meadowlands Arena. Seton Hall blowing out Pitt, as you see in the second half. The Hall has won 4 straight games in the Big East, and they can pull to within a half game of first place in the conference if they hold on and beat the Panthers. I'll have more coming up right after these messages.
Sports Desk is brought to you by Dutch Boy, the official paint sponsor of the NBA. Available at Home Depot.
Welcome back to the Miami Arena. Better than 15,000, a sellout crowd on hand. And the Heat leading by 4 as we move on to the third quarter. Tremendous shooting first half. The Knicks just under 54%, 22 for 41. And the same for the Heat on 21 of 39. The Knicks have been awful at the line once again, 7 for 13. And Miami also struggling, despite the fact that they have come a long way in that department. And look at the turnovers. The Knicks with 15, 5 committed by Charles Oakley.
Cost them 18 points as well. As you can see, the Heat very successful, 2-1 in that department. It should be the other way around based on experience. And Ronnie Cycli with a fine first half. At 9 rebounds has stood for a long time, as have Patrick Ewing's 3 rebounds.
It is Miami ball as we get underway. In the third quarter, Steve Smith and Bimbo Coles in the backcourt, although Smith is being covered by Xavier McDaniel. And now Oakley switching off. Cycling rejected by McDaniel. Oakley. Well, we have just seen the downside of Charles Oakley.
Hands. Judgment around the basket, 4 by Charles.
Rice now being played by Ewing. Shot clock at 5. Here's Smith for 3.
Big time player. Boy, as a rookie, he's something. He showed that to the Knicks, though, in his opening NBA game here in Miami. He was star of the game in that one.
Miami 59 and the Knicks 52. This is only the second game back for Steve Smith. Made his return yesterday in Charlotte. Oakley, nice play. So Charles Oakley has 8 points. And Miami leads by 5. Here's Smith again from downtown. Steve Smith is a 30 32% from 32% shooter from three-point land, Xavier McDaniel. And the good shooting continues. The Heat leading 62-56.
This is the end of the court, though, where the Knicks have to change things. Second quarter was a totally different presentation by the Heat. 36 points.
Now Smith off the dribble. It counts, and the foul. Steve Smith has taken over. Here are the early moments of the third.
Long-range shooting now, something different for Xavier McDaniel. Now, McDaniel's 6'8", and so is the rookie guard, Steve Smith. Look what he does with the basketball, how he protects it with his body. Ewing comes over, and Smith very coolly drops it up off the backboard.
Steve Smith has hit 2 out of 2 from downtown. Miami with 4 three-point field goals. They're 4 out of 10, and they've opened up a 65-56 lead. 2 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Ewing from deep. Well, the Heat wouldn't mind if Patrick Ewing stands out there all night taking shots like that. Another three. Glenn Rice. And Pat Riley wants a timeout. A festival of three-pointers by the Miami Heat.
When you play the game and you're looking good, take the Bud Light way and it's understood.
If you're into looking good, get into Bud Light. Clean, fresh taste won't fill you up and never let you down.
Texas feeling, know you got it right, 'cause everything else is just a light. Bud Light, just a light.
Dad, we need to talk.
Miami in the midst of an 18-2 run. They scored the last 9 points of the second quarter, and they've outscored the Knicks 9-2 here in the third, and they've done it with a three-point shot. 5 for 11 overall, 3 for 3 from downtown here in the third. Overall, Rice 2 for 3 in three-point shots, and Smith has hit 2 out of 2.
Knicks are tasting the quality of this team right now. Glenn Rice and Steve Smith are big-time players. They came into the NBA much heralded, and they're showing their talents early in their career. Rice, the leading scorer on this team. Smith, nothing but superlatives for him. Marv, you remember the Knicks against Golden State in New York? What an impressive game that was. John Starks at the line, making the technical. And then down here, 3 days later, Golden State got shocked by this team by 2 points in a shootout.
Illegal defense called against Miami for the second time, leading to the technical foul. Another Knick turnover. Miami with a 68-57 lead. Rice battling for position against Jackson. And Ewing able to get to the rebound. Let's go with the three-guard setup. It counts, and the foul.
Foul number 41, Glenn Rice.
Rice called for his second.
Mark Jackson with a very tough move over 6'8" Rice. Very determined effort by Mark Jackson. The Knicks need to really work their way back in now. When the second half began, they were concentrating on defense, and that didn't work as the Heat went to the long-range shooting. Now they've got a ton of work to do at both ends of the court.
Mark Jackson completing the three-point play. It's Miami 68 and the Knicks 60. Fourth meeting of the season between the Knicks and Miami. Knicks have won 2 of 3. They lost here in Miami, and they won the 2 at Madison Square Garden. Coles. Jackson did not close the baseline, but Coles came up short. Starks. Back comes Coles. Smith for 3. And it's long on the box out.
Should be the other way around, but the Knicks do not box out adequately.
Grant Long has been quiet to this point. He comes in averaging just under 15 per game and has been very productive as of late. Here's Jackson. Lovely move by Mark Jackson. Miami leads by 8. 4 minutes gone by in the third.
Mark providing some leadership now.
Foul called on Starks. It's a hold.
Starks is second. Team second.
John Starks telling the official David Jones, yes, that was a good call, but watch him, he's pushing me. David Jones paying no attention at all to John's interpretation. Long was short.
Very good. Very good. I'm jealous.
And that is the sad part of it. Jackson with the save. Ewing dribbling out of trouble. Jackson for Oakley. What a move by Mark Jackson.
Mark is making the decisions at the offensive end, and they've all been good for the last 2 minutes.
Mark Jackson providing a spark. Smith does not like the hand-checking tactics of Starks. And the foul is called. It's on Ewing. That is his 4th. Patrick Ewing very fortunate that he did not have a technical foul called on him.
Fortunately, Mike Costabile didn't see the hand of Ewing,
or pretended he did not see the finger pointing.
Ewing responded well, though. He realized what was going on.
Cycling, and it's called on Cycling. Offensive foul. So Ewing sits down with 4. Cycling has just collected his 4, not appreciated by his coach, Kevin Locklery.
He replaces Patrick Ewing.
Well, Ronnie Cycling committed himself to the drive.
Anthony Mason, who played well in the first half, is now matched with Ronnie Cycling. Starks. John Starks to the line, fouled by Grant Long.
Well, we just saw a reversion to yesteryear. We just saw a weave on offense. Starks broke through at the right moment.
Miami taking a timeout with 6:32 remaining in the third.
Pass over Mark Jackson. That's the height of...
By Wilkins, a look away from Jackson, McDaniel, and the Knicks have taken the lead.
Enter the home of Hassett and Wantagh, the ultimate full-service automobile dealership, and discover what thousands of your Long Island neighbors already know, that you get something more with our low prices. You get even more than the best incentives, even more than award-winning service priced fairly. At Hassett, you get 73 full-time employees driven by one singular objective: your peace of mind. Hassett in nearby Wantagh.
Hockey legends are coming to the Nassau Coliseum.
That's right. It's a thrilling round-robin tournament featuring your favorite alumni players from the Islanders, Rangers, and Flyers. There'll be a breakaway competition and an exclusive opportunity to meet your favorite players after the game. J.C. Penney presents the Hockey Legends Challenge, along with
Mark Jackson with a good third quarter. He's done it offensively, and he has done it in getting to his teammates. Pretty pass for Oakley from Jackson.
Mark Jackson climbing the assist-leading category in the NBA. As we look at our Payne-Weber leaders, Mark Jackson, while playing an average of 29 minutes a game this season, is up there, number 5 in the NBA in assists.
The Knicks now within 4. .6:15 remaining in the third. Cycling with a nice move. He's hit 6 of 8 from the field. He has 12 points.
He has good spring, and he's quick. Oakley was right behind him, but Cycling just went over Charles with his height.
Wilkins from downtown. So Gerald Wilkins hits the three, and Miami now leads by 3.
Excellent 5 minutes of play for the Knicks. They've come right back into this.
Gerald Wilkins with his second three-pointer of the game. Bimbo Coles going glass effectively. The Heat 74, the Knicks 69. Here's Jackson. Yes. Mark Jackson. So the strong shooting at both ends continues. Both these clubs at 54% for the half. Both started slowly in the first quarter. Here's Rice. And Wilkins with the rebound. So the Knicks have bounced back with a 15-4 run. Jackson. Coles and Smith now in the backcourt. Cycling up front, along with Rice and Long. Wilkins anticipating, and Starks with him. Goes all the way, and he's fouled by Long.
Well, he felt he could beat Grant Long one way or the other, and it turned out to be the other enjoying the foul. Nice move by Gerald, which started with the good defense. Gerald bursting forth. He just figures he can outrun Grant Long, who makes a good attempt to get in front of Wilkins, but there was a foul.
At the line, Gerald Wilkins.
Gerald Wilkins 0 for 1 from the foul line.
This is where Gerald does not spend enough time. He does not get to the foul line very often when you consider the amount of minutes he plays. Under 100 foul shot attempts this year in 50 games.
And shooting only 68% from the line. So the Knicks have come back. You'll recall that 18-2 run by Miami that extended back to the second quarter. They finished the second with 9 consecutive points. Good play by Oakland. So the Knicks have scrapped their way back into it. Mark Jackson a key earlier this third quarter. And the Knicks are now within 2 with 4.5 remaining in the third. 7 on the 24. Oakley. Charles getting a host of good setup passes. As a result, he has 12 points.
And that was Wilkins on that nice pass.
Coles with a good setup. And Cycling gives Miami a 2-point lead. Kevin Locker is staying with Ronnie Cycling. Although we've just been told that a correction on Cycling's fouls does not have 4, has 3, which explains why he is still on the floor. And a foul called on Starks.
Good defensive play by the active hands of Miami, springing that ball loose from Starks, who responds by committing the foul.
Kevin Edwards replacing Grant Long, leaves with 6 points. The high man of the game, Rice has 20, Cycling with 14, Smith with 13, Ewing leading the Knicks with 15, but he's sitting down after picking up his 4th.
Good job by Gerald Wilkins going to the boards, tipping that ball into the hands of his teammates.
Mason setting a pick. Rice jumping out on Wilkins. Gerald checking the shot clock and throws the air ball. So Miami will get it back.
Fans showing gentlemanly appreciation to the conduct of Oakley, helping up Cycling after he fell on him.
And then Charles goes right back to banging Cycling at the other end. Here's Edwards. Kevin Edwards with his 3rd bucket. He has 8. Miami leading 78-74.
You don't know what to expect from Kevin Edwards from game to game, but he has bothered the Knicks many times.
Bad pass. Smith with a look away. Jackson with the foul. Knicks got a break. Coles did not get the roll. Instead, he'll go to the line and shoot a couple. What a pass from Steve Smith. Steve Smith, the NBA's tallest point guard since Magic Johnson retired. At least we think he's retired. And we'll talk about that with Knicks coach Pat Riley a bit later on.
Steve Smith spent a lot of time with Magic Johnson last summer getting prepared for his NBA debut, and he signed early. He didn't hold out. He got the job done early, took care of his business, and got right into it.
Miami went into the draft looking for rebounding, but they decided Steve Smith was just too talented to pass up, and they made the move for Steve, and that eventually led to the trading off of Sherman Douglas, that and the contract dispute. 22nd timeout has been called with 2:43 remaining in the third, and Miami up by 6. The Knicks are back at the Garden tomorrow night to go up against the Sacramento Kings. We'll be on the air starting at 7:30 Knick game night with Bruce Beck starting at 7. That's the start of a 3-game homestand. Thursday, the Knicks are home for Cleveland. Saturday, facing the Dikembe Mutombo and the Denver Nuggets. And then a 3-game trip to the West. The Suns, the Lakers, and the Sacramento Kings.
Yes, Patrick Ewing's student, Mutombo, has really come on in the NBA.
Wilkins, yes. And Gerald has been hitting the outside shot tonight. Miami leading 80-76. Wilkins has 13 points. Now Rice being guarded by Mason. Shot clock at 5. Smith for 3. Make it 3 out of 3 from downtown for Steve Smith.
Now, Wilkins has been hot tonight, but one gets an idea of what other teams have as far as the outside shooting dimension. Tonight, Miami Heat has been sensational from the perimeter.
Jackson going end-to-end. Wilkins for 3. He's hit 2 from 3-point range. Miami will take over. 1:42 to go in the third quarter.
Which is why Miami, when they start changing the personnel on this roster, is going to go big. That's the focus of this team now. They've got to get bigger. They've got to get shot blocking.
And Starks will jump it up with Edwards.
That's what Kevin Lockery told us in New York. They must get some shot blocking and some defensive intimidation inside. That's what they lack.
Excellent shooting once again by both clubs. Miami looking to turn it from the poor effort in Charlotte. Yesterday they lost 126-109. Their 5th straight loss on the road. Vandeweghe replacing Wilkins. At home it's been a different story for the Heat. They've won 19 and lost 7. They've won 7 of their last 8 here in Miami.
When Kevin Lockery took this team over to begin the season, he said we must protect our home turf, and boy did that message get through.
Mason is walloped.
Kevin Lockery is becoming much more active, I noticed tonight, certainly than he was in New York, responding to the officials' calls. But part of his new look, really, has been to be a calmer coach, and he's translated that to his team. He's speaking, as he told me in New York last week, 2 weeks ago, much more positively. He's got a lot more patience, and that's what they felt this team needed. A lot of patience as the younger players develop, and Kevin has adjusted. He gets a lot of credit for that. Because a lot of people were critical of the Billy Cunningham decision with Lou Schifel to hire Kevin Lockery.
Yes, he has certainly been more on the low-key side. In his first season with Miami, took over for Ron Rothstein, let go last year. Miami has a 5-point lead, and the holding foul, that won't count. Very nicely done, but will not count. Vandeweghe called for the hold.
That's one case where the player doesn't want that whistle to be blown. It was like, let that foul go, ref. I have a slam dunk drive coming up here.
Steve Smith, 6 for 8 from the field. He has 16 points. He's hit 3 3-pointers. Miami is 6 for 13 now from 3-point land.
Number 33, Alec Kessler in the game.
Alec Kessler back. Ronnie Cycling hears it. from the crowd. 14 points, 10 rebounds for Cycling. Miami leads 84-78. And away up front with Mason and Oakley, Jackson, and Starks in the backcourt. Oh, jumping out, Edwards able to anticipate, and Jackson with a good play to get it back. Good hustle by Mark Jackson after he turned it over.
Edwards read the passing lane.
Seconds remaining in the third. Eight on the 24. Starks had the step. Jackson and Oakley able to deposit it once again. Charles Oakley has 14 points.
Knicks doing an excellent job without the presence of Patrick Ewing.
Ewing sitting out after picking up his fourth, and he was on a roll after a slow start. Final seconds of the third. The Knicks are down by 4. And the foul called on Mason.
Knicks foul number 14, and Mason is second.
So with 4 seconds left in the third, Glenn Rice to the foul line. He is 2 for 2. From the line. It has been a quiet third quarter for Rice. 21 points in all, but he had 17 at the half. Crowd responds to Steve Smith, who will be pulled for a rest. Keith Askins has come on.
Rice has been red hot the last 14 games. He's averaged 25 points a game.
Most of that damage done, though, about 3 weeks ago. Recent games has not shot well. Here's Jackson firing. So 3 quarters complete here in Miami. It's the Heat 86 and the Knicks 80.
Hi, I'm Buddy McGray. You watch the MSG Network, the best in the game.
People who want to write sports for us.
Today at the Forum in Los Angeles, emotional moments for Earvin Magic Johnson as his jersey was retired. Pat Riley, so close to Magic over the years, was asked by John earlier, does he feel that Magic will play again?
I think Earvin's going to do what his heart tells him to do. I think you could see when he became emotional, and it happened only when Kareem began to talk. He has a special bond with players, and he misses the camaraderie and being around that element more than anything else. And if he feels like he can play, then I think he should. I think that's what his heart's telling him to do, but there's a lot of different things pulling in any direction. But the All-Star game proved to him and to everybody else that he can still have an impact on a game.
One of Coach Mike Dunleavy's remarks after the game yesterday, or after the ceremonies, was that he was delighted to see Magic's jersey put up with Velcro holding it up, so that it could come down if Magic decides to come back. The Lakers really need him.
Well, Magic has made it clear that he plans to play in the Olympics. And you get the idea, the return in terms of NBA competition is open. He has not closed the door, but I think his doctors may have a better idea as to that subject.
Apparently he's meeting with them this week.
Fourth quarter is underway. Miami now with an 86-81 lead. You saw Charles Oakley at the free throw line. Greg Anthony has made his return. Anthony Mason in a battle with Glenn Rice, and Mason lost it. Edwards from Rice. It won't count. Offensive interference. So the Knicks will get it back at side court.
But Askins right up there, leaping up at 6'8" to tip it before it cleared the basket.
Well, the calm Kevin Lockery was wild on the sideline reacting to that call. Vandeweghe rebounded by Edwards. We're just underway in the fourth. Miami leads by 5. Here's Edwards. And Anthony out of the pack. Vandeweghe.
Yes, what a fine response by Mason, not overplaying his role, giving that ball up when he didn't feel comfortable going to the basket.
Kiki Vandeweghe 3 out of 5. He has 6 points. Miami 86 and the Knicks 83. Ronnie Cycli getting set to return. Patrick Ewing continues to sit it out with the 4 fouls. Traveling violation.
Cole's handling the ball. All of a sudden, Charles Oakley was there. He didn't know what to do. There was contact, but no foul. Boy, Kevin's really working hard to get a technical, and hasn't drawn one thus far.
22nd timeout called by Miami. It's the Heat 86 and the Knicks 83. Knicks have led by as many as 8. Miami has led by as many as 12 points. Well, coming up tonight at 11 with Bob Page, a 15-minute edition of the MSG Sports Desk. We'll have highlights from this afternoon's Ranger-Vancouver 3-3 tie. Rangers coming from behind in the third. A good one between Team USA and Sweden at the Winter Olympics. And Seton Hall and Pitt, plus much more. That's tonight at 11.
Pat Riley rather monitoring how long his team can go without Patrick Ewing's presence out there.
John Starks brings the Knicks within 1. 2 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Marv Albert, John Andres from the arena in Miami. Edwards with the hesitation dribble finds Cycli. Oakley with the steal. Nice play, and Mason has given the Knicks an 87-86 lead. But what a play by Charles Oakley to get that sequence going. 9:27 remaining in the fourth.
When you play the game and you're looking good, there's a fun light way and understood.
If you're into looking good, get into Bud Light. Clean, fresh taste won't fill you up, never let you down.
Texas feeling, know you got it right. There's everything else. It's just a light, just a light, Bud Light. Just a light.
Smile. Gotcha. Surprised? You shouldn't be. The hottest name in home entertainment just got hotter. Nobody beats the Wiz in the camera business, and we're in it full blast. We carry the top name brands, Canon, Pentax, Fuji, Olympus, Minolta, and all the accessories you'll ever need. Everything from lights to lenses. We'll even develop your film. Want a camera? Set your focus to the one-stop home entertainment center. Nobody beats the Wiz.
Numbers indicate the Knicks leading around the basket, 57 frontline points, also dominating in the rebounding department, and they have come back with a tremendous effort without the presence of Patrick Ewing.
The Knicks with 7 consecutive points to open up this fourth quarter, and they've taken their first lead since they were up by the score 52-50. 3-second violation called on Cycli.
Charles Oakley is muscling Cycli. It's unbelievable how much pressure he's putting on him. And when you get back to that foul, that straight-on foul on Ewing earlier down low, when he had his hand on Cycli, and that was a foul. But what Oakley's doing to Cycli is amazing.
And now the foul called the other way. It's on Anthony away from the ball. We are seeing the finest all-around effort of the season by Charles Oakley. Missed that easy layup, but otherwise he has played exceptionally well. 7 for 10, 15 points, along with 8 rebounds and some strong defensive play.
I tell you, Ronnie Cycli knows Charles Oakley's around.
Rice. Starks chased by Long, goes over him, and draws the foul.
Knicks have gotten excellent play also from Greg Anthony tonight. The point guard position for the Knicks, with Mark Jackson having a fine game, and Greg Anthony has been solid.
4 fouls on that man, Grant Long, in his 4th season out of Eastern Michigan. Nice complimentary player, but he has certainly improved his production, although he's been quiet tonight. Here's Steve Smith returning, replacing Kevin Edwards. Edwards leaving with 8 points.
Patrick Ewing keeping warm. He's been sitting for quite a while, but you mentioned Long, Marv. He was a guy destined to be 8th or 9th man if he made it in the NBA, and he started every game for the Miami Heat this year with his great determination.
9 unanswered points by the Knicks, but Rice was fouled. It's on Mason. Miami has gone 3.5 minutes of this 4th quarter without scoring a point. But now Glenn Rice to the free throw line.
That's the line, Glenn Rice.
The foul situation, 4 apiece on Ewing and McDaniel. 3 on Oakley, 3 on Starks. For Miami, Long has 4, 3 apiece on Rice, Cycli, and Edwards. Well, Miami with its first point of this 4th quarter. The Knicks lead at 89-87. Mason with a strong move,
but a bad decision.
And a travel.
He doesn't have the legs of Michael Jordan for that slam dunk. He didn't have enough momentum to execute that move successfully.
Rice in 3-point territory. Long, played by Vandeweghe. Looking to pull his way. Knicks wanted a 3-second call. It's a hold instead on Vandeweghe. Kiki Vandeweghe trying to defend against the 6'9", 230-pound, very solidly built Grant Long.
Kiki with a lot to say, too, on that foul call. Unusual.
Cycli, it counts, and the foul. Well, this time he was able to avert Oakley and draw the foul.
Got to credit Cycli for playing with a lot of heart, because he's taken quite a beating from Oakley. And that has resulted in Pat Riley's decision to bring back Patrick Ewing.
Foul called on Oakley, his 4th. And Miami has had its problems at the foul line. Usually a very good free throw shooting team. As mentioned earlier, they're now tied for 3rd in that department. 7.5 remaining in the 4th quarter. Game tied at 89. Here's Starks for 3. Cycli on the rebound. Long in the open floor. Met by Starks. Starks trying to draw the foul. Vandeweghe getting inside for the rebound. Anthony. Cycli off the board.
The ability to finish the break is a problem for Greg Anthony. He gets there, but sometimes he doesn't put it in the hole.
Traveling, violation, pulls, try to pull up. Now Patrick Ewing back on the floor. And he'll replace Kiki Vandeweghe. 6 points for Vandeweghe. Knicks with a front line of Ewing, Mason, and Oakley. High number of turnovers by both teams. Starks and Anthony in the backcourt. It has been an off night for John Starks. 1 for 6 from the field. The game tied at 89. Here's Coles. And Pat Riley wants a timeout. 6:27 remaining in the 4th. Miami now leads by 2. Anthony gets the rebound, looks for Wilkins, who has Quinnett. Meanwhile, Wilkins with 0.5 to go.
The good, the bad, the bumpy. Whatever the road, a Michelin can give you all the miles we're famous for. Ride 'em, cowboy. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
All WTC Auto Centers are celebrating the grand opening of the new Superstore on Route 25A in Mount Sinai. Visit your nearby WTC Auto Center for huge savings during the grand opening sale.
S&B Manufacturers Warehouse. Buy direct $99 all wool men's suits. That's right, $99. Comparative values to $350. Entire inventory, 9,000 suits, $89 to $119, none higher. Open 3 days a week only, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Buy direct. S&B Manufacturers Warehouse is now open to the public. Call 1-800-834-MENS off Route 110, 1 block south of Adventureland. Remember, call 1-800-834-MENS for our all-wool $99 suits.
This is Bob Page with an update from the Meadowlands. Pittsburgh on the attack. Steal by Gordon Winchester. He goes in for the slam and gets the call. The Hall goes up by 22. They coast to a 5th straight Big East victory, 82-63.
Thank you, Bob. And back here in Miami, the Miami Heat leading the New York Knicks 91-89. 4 fouls apiece for Ewing, McDaniel, and Oakley. Long of Miami has 4. 6:25 remaining in the 4th quarter. Starks had to save that pass, and then he's trapped and lost it. Oh, no, he called a timeout. Had to use a timeout because of the double team. So it will be Nick Ball when we resume. We'll be back right after this.
Teamwork. It's about common goals and group achievement, which is a beautiful thing, but it's very boring. Which is why we created Foot Locker Slam Fest. The hottest team players in professional football, baseball, and track get a chance to do it all themselves this season in Foot Locker Slam Fest. No passes, no referees, no teamwork, just money shots and hang time by some of the greatest athletes ever to palm a basketball. Foot Locker Slam Fest 92, halftime during college games on ABC. Don't miss it.
In trying to make an artistic statement, one should be careful not to let one's personal aroma do the talking. In order not to offend the critics, I recommend Right Guard Sport Stick. It provides maximum protection and the freshest scents, a sublime palette of odoriferous emanations. After all, a true artiste should be remembered for his inspiration, not his perspiration. Right Guard Sport Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Dude, home theater checklist. Excellent. Big screen? Check. CD player? 5-disc changer. Cassette? Double, dude. Speakers? 5 good excellent speakers. Receiver? Kenwood. Kenwood? Radical Dolby Pro Logic, dude. Perfect distribution of sound between right, left, center, and rear channels. It's gonna blow you away. I'm a stellar choice. Where can I bag it? Totally easy. Nobody beats the Wiz.
This call to the bench is brought to you by New York Telephone, who reminds you the New York Telephone regional calling area is bigger than you think. Big help off the bench for the Knicks tonight, led by Anthony Mason's 15 points.
Knicks now have 2 timeouts remaining. Miami has 3. They both used their 20. Shot clock at 5. Ewing with the drop step. And gets the roll, so he's tied the game at 91.
So important for Ewing to play catch with the guards. The ball goes in, goes out, and goes back in again.
Ewing with 17. We're just under 6 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Here's Smith giving it up. Cycling. Ewing got a piece of it. And Oakley hustled it down. The crowd reacts. They wanted a foul. A push called on Oakley.
Yes, Oakley treated Cycling like a doll.
Here's Ewing, and he's fouled. Long jumping out. Involved along with Cycling. And they call it on Cycling. That's number 4 on Ron Cycling.
Hasn't taken Patrick Ewing long to show how important his presence is. Cycling going in, rejected by Ewing, and then Oakley in pursuit of that ball sends Cycling in one direction, and he goes in the other.
Ewing now 4 for 7 from the line. He leads the Knicks with 18, 15 apiece for Oakley and Mason. Charles Oakley matching his season high with 15 points.
Interesting, Pat Riley sticking with Greg Anthony and John Starks. Mark Jackson has had an excellent game.
Knicks lead by 2. 5.5 remaining in the fourth. Oh, good defensive work on the double team. It will be Nick Ball.
Pat Riley could not believe that behind-the-back pass by Anthony. He was leading the field and then decided to go behind his back to set up one of his teammates. It didn't work.
Knicks have 20 on the shot clock. Anthony and Starks as the guards. Ewing, Oakley, and Mason up front. They isolate Ewing against Cycling. Yes. The Knicks 95, Miami 91. 21 for Ewing. He scored the Knicks' last 6 points. Cycling facing a double team. That was intended as a pass. Mason, Starks, the Knicks lead 97-91, and the Heat calls for time. A burst by the Knicks. 4:38 remaining in the fourth.
My new shoes, Reebok Omni Zone. Reebok Omni Zones? Yeah, very lightweight, which is key for this jam. Oh yeah? Which jam? The King Kong jam. What do you want to say?
Knicks have put it together here in the last couple of minutes. Cycling intended a pass for his teammate. Anthony Mason, however, recovered it. And John Starks finished the play. And the Knicks are rolling here in the closing minutes.
8-0 run by the Knicks the last minute and 22. Patrick Ewing with 6 of those 8 points. The Knicks with a 17-5 run in the fourth quarter. And they lead 97-91. 4.5 remaining. In this fourth quarter, chant of "Let's go Heat" from this capacity crowd in Miami. Long, Grant Long cuts the Knicks lead to 4 points. Pat Riley staying with this unit. Anthony and Starks at the guards. Oakley, Ewing, Mason up front. Shot clock at 10. Here's Ewing. So Patrick Ewing to the foul line. Ronnie Cycling called for his 5th.
Very interesting. Again, Pat Riley sticking with Greg Anthony, who played 7 minutes in Chicago. And here the game is on the line, and Anthony is the point guard. And it's not like Jackson's had a disappointing game at all.
Oh, Jackson has played well. 11 assists, 9 points, and provided a lift in the third quarter. Ewing is 5 for 9 from the line. And again, the Knicks struggling at the foul line. 19 for 28. Both teams have shot poorly at the free throw line. The Knicks 98, the Heat 93, just under 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Marv Albert, John Andres from the Miami Arena. Knicks back at the Garden tomorrow to go against Sacramento. They play Cleveland at home on Thursday. Here's Rice. Oakley to the board.
Nice move by Mason, challenging Rice. Had the hand right up on him when he went for that shot.
12 rebounds for Charles Oakley, along with 15 points. Cole stripping Anthony. And the foul on Cole. And Miami very upset. They felt that Greg Anthony took a flop.
Nice play by Coles. Anthony now. Keep your eye on Anthony, how quickly he falls down.
He did have position. Starks. Coles. Well, Anthony stopped him.
The defensive intensity of the Knicks has picked up dramatically.
Three-point attempt. Len Rice for a three. Miami 7 for 14 from downtown. And the Knicks lead is now 98-96. Rice 3 out of 4 from three-point land. Here is Anthony. Yes! The rookie Greg Anthony never showing a lack of confidence.
Big shot for not only the Knicks, but for Anthony's psyche.
Knicks 5-4. Mark Jackson getting set to come on. Smith. And Smith cuts the lead to 2 with 2:20 remaining in the fourth.
The guy is 6'8", so he can shoot over 6'4", 6'5" people like Starks.
19 for Steve Smith. 13 of the 19 of the third quarter. Anthony called for a charge.
Anthony with his confidence going up for the shot, and the Heat converged on him, forcing that offensive foul by Greg.
So Mark Jackson has replaced Greg Anthony. Smith feeling around for Starks, looking to post him. Cycling, able to get it back. Rice shaking off the three and threw it away. A minute and 40 remaining in this fourth quarter. And the Knicks lead 100-98. Cycley's doing a nice job on Ewing. He's playing with 5 fouls. Mason, not a good shot. It will be Miami ball.
Patrick Ewing yelling at John Starks, massaging him verbally as they come up court.
Minute 25 remaining in the fourth.
See, the option to come back to Ewing wasn't used by the Knicks. At the first chance they didn't get it to him, they went away from him and stayed away.
Coles beat Jackson and has tied it at 100. Timeout called by the Knicks. A minute 14 remaining. We'll be right back.
Like you, your car has a heart, the engine. And like the human heart, it has valves where deposits can form. The right diet can make a difference. Fill up with Mobile Super Unleaded Plus. Its advanced detergent formula can unclog vital engine parts. For power and performance, get Mobile Super Unleaded Plus and drive your engine clean.
Gold. Let's say you bought a painting. Let's say Van Gogh sunflowers. Let's say you used the Discover card. You'd have a little money coming back. Because with the Discover card, every single charge earns an annual cashback bonus.
Nice.
It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back.
Friday night at the Garden, it's the New York Rangers and the Minnesota North Stars. You'll see it on MSG, starting with Ranger game night at 7. Rangers with a 3-3 tie this afternoon in New York against Vancouver on a last-second goal by Darren Turcotte. Rangers on top of the Patrick. A minute 14 remaining here in the fourth quarter. The Knicks in Miami are tied at 100. A good finish. The Miami Heat here at home 19-7, and they've beaten a number of the better teams.
That Golden State game was right after they left New York. Golden State was on a roll. They also lost to Chicago early in January by 2 points here.
Prior to the loss in Charlotte yesterday, they had knocked off Atlanta at home. Starks, Mason, and he drew the foul. Now I'm guessing that was intended as a pass by Starks. Bimbo Coles called for the foul. Anthony Mason, who is not a good free throw shooter, will go to the line. But tonight, 5 for 6, 15 points, which equals his season high.
I may be reading minds here, but I have a feeling Patrick Ewing is very unhappy about his teammates' lack of patience in getting the ball to him. When they first look in and don't go to him, they don't come back to him.
So Mason, 6 for 7 from the line, and the Knicks lead by 1. Yes, Patrick Ewing got off to a blazing start when he made his return in the fourth quarter. Mason, with clutch free throw shooting, has given the Knicks a 2-point lead.
Like a big moment when one of the Knicks makes 2 at the line, you know.
50 seconds remaining in the fourth, and a foul called on Mason.
Next foul, number 14, Anthony Mason, is fourth.
So the Knicks, with their 4th team foul, Miami is over the limit. That was not a bad foul. 45 seconds remaining in the fourth. Knicks lead by 2. Here's Coles. Traveling violation.
He came out of that rejection healthy, but then he took that one extra step in trying to get his balance.
26th turnover for Miami. Both clubs have been turning it over tonight. Knicks with the ball. They lead by 2. Starks with lots of time on the clock. You would think the Knicks would want to nurse the clock right here. Miami will get it back. He had 16 on the 24. Why would he take the shot? Particularly the way he's shooting. He's 2 for 10. Timeout is called. 26 seconds remaining in the fourth.
Another Home Depot certified advantage. Free design service. Home Depot.
Well, Grant Long, the man that gives the ball up to Cycli. Cycli generously shares it, and Grant Long rewards his team for the faith in him to take that key jump shot.
The jumper by Long tying the game at 102. 10 and 9/10 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Gerald Wilkins has checked back in. The Knicks and the Heat tied at 102. Down to 5. Here's Jackson. Yes! With 1 and 8/10 seconds remaining in regulation. Mark Jackson with the spinning jumper, and Miami has taken its final timeout. When we come back, Miami with the ball down by 2. Well, back in Miami, the Knicks now lead the Heat 104-102 with 1 and 8/10 seconds remaining in regulation. Both clubs have used up all their timeouts.
Mark Jackson's greatest strength is his ability to drive, but what a surprise. Cole stopped him outside. Mark went to the jump shot. But Cole's moving his feet very well. Right on him, right on him. No criticism. All of a sudden, Mark over Vernell Coles. Excuse me.
Oh, Vernell.
No bimbo that time. Boy, is he happy, as is Kiki Vandeweghe, who greets Mark Jackson right away. Bang.
Well, John, defensively, Bimbo Coles would prefer being referred to as Vernell. Offensively, he's Bimbo. Mark Jackson, 11 points, along with 11 assists. Now, Haskins will check in for the inbounds. He'll face Patrick Ewing. 1 and 8/10 seconds remaining. Knicks by 2. No timeouts left. Haskins gets it in. Smith for 3. The game winner. Whoa! And the Knicks defeating Miami by the score of 104-102. Steve Smith, who has been on fire fire from downtown, rimmed the basket with the fling. What a terrific game.
The Knicks faced this situation in Chicago. Gerald Wilkins had the game in his hands, in and out. But here, the next game, the Knicks do it in the closing seconds with clutch shooting. And look at Steve Smith almost doing it. Another look at it. Smith so dangerous wherever he is on the court.
And the Knicks come away with a 104-102 victory over the Miami Heat. And the Evian Natural Spring Water Player of the Game from the New York Knicks, it is Mark Jackson by virtue of the game-winning shot. And Mark finished with 11 points and 11 assists on a night that saw Mark Jackson move into second place on the Knicks all-time assist list, moving by Dick McGuire. He is now behind Walt Clyde Frazier. We'll be back to recap in a moment. Pass over Mark Jackson. That's the height of by Wilkins. The look away from Jackson. McDaniel. And the Knicks have taken the lead.
Smith ahead to Evans. Holy Toledo, what a play! Evans to Smith.
To Matthews. To Butler. Whoa, what a shot! Sam with a steal. Hold on. Turnover. Here we go. Woo! Ice the case. Right, the crowd has a Lou and now a loop.
California heads for UCLA to battle the Bruins in a Pac-10 matchup Tuesday at 11 here on MS.
Well, at the Miami Arena before a sellout crowd of 15,008, the New York Knicks defeat the Miami Heat by the score of 104-102, and this the game-winning shot by Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson so happy to be in that situation where he could take that shot, and his feelings are all over his face.
And the Heat did have a last-second opportunity. Steve Smith, who certainly had the touch from the three-point range, got off the spinning fling and nearly won the game for the Heat. And that is how it ended. So the Knicks go 32-18. They're now 3 games over Boston. Miami drops to 24-28. The leading scorer summary brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. Advantage Jeep and Eagle. Patrick Ewing with 22. Career high 17 points for Anthony Mason. Charles Oakley matched his season high with 15. Wilkins 13. Jackson with 11 points along with 11 assists. Charles Oakley also had a big one off the boards with 12 rebounds. Glenn Rice led the way for the Heat with 26. Steve Smith with 19. Ronnie Cycli was in foul trouble late in the game, had 16. Bimbo Coles with 15. And Grant Long hit a big shot down the stretch with 10 points. So the Knicks able to bounce back from the tough loss at the hands of the Bulls Saturday night in Chicago.
Just remarkable, Marv, thinking about the last time they met in New York and how the Knicks won by 31. They coasted through that one here. What a difference. And it took everybody, and the Knicks really got tremendous balance, as they did in New York, but tonight, real balance. Mason with a sensationally quiet game with his 17 points, and Anthony also did a terrific job, and Mark Jackson put the topper on this one with that shot.
And now it is back home, the start of a 3-game homestand tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden, going up against the Sacramento Kings. And of course, this telecast would not be complete as always without presenting the dunk of the game, which is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that distinctively clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud.
Mark Jackson handling the ball, waiting for Patrick Ewing, and he found him early in the second half for that lead pass and the slam dunk by Ewing.
Both clubs shooting well. The Knicks at 51% from the field, and Miami at 52. The Knicks come away with the victory by the score 104-102, and they have now won 3 of 4 against Miami this season. Tomorrow night, it is back home for the Sacramento Kings. Start of the 3-game homestand will be on the air, starting with Knick Game Night at 7 o'clock. Marv Albert with John Andres saying so long from Miami. That is coming up next in progress here on the MSG Network.